Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the program Excel to make tables and graphs for your paper. And in this first paper, you're just focused on the materials and methods, results, and discussion section. So these tables and graphs are going to be a major component of the results section you will be creating. So using the laptops in lab, you'll be working on this in class, and you'll be able to download this file from Blackboard, and you'll see these three areas of the file. So the first area on the first page here is the raw data that we want to analyze. The second page is where you're going to be creating the table for the paper. And the third page is where you'll be creating the graph for the paper. So I do want to say that this is being made on a Mac, so things are going to look ever so slightly different than they look on the PCs in lab. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. In lab, all of the groups did the same experiment, and we have all of this data for each time point in this first experiment of the diffusion and osmosis lab. So in this experiment, as you can see, we measured the diffusion of this dye called malachite green and the diffusion of this dye called potassium permanganate. To summarize this information and make sense of it, we're going to look at both the average and the standard deviation. So Excel will calculate all of this for you, and you're going to do those calculations in this second part of the file. So I'm going to start here at time 0, and to begin, you always need to click the box that you want the calculation to start in, to happen in. So in this box, we want the average width of the malachite green dye circle at 0 minutes, right at the beginning of the experiment. Okay, so to tell Excel that we want to do an average, we're going to go up here to this little function key, because average is a function, and we're going to click on that silly fx symbol, which means function, and choose average. Okay, and you actually need to double click on average to get it started. And once you've double clicked on it, you can see that average is in the box, and now you're gonna go ahead and select the data you want to average. And so I'm just gonna move this a little bit out of the way here, and you can see it saying, okay, well, which numbers do you want to average? And I know yours is going to look a little different, but the process is essentially the same. So after you've selected the average function, you just need to go over to the raw data and highlight the data that you want to average. So remember, we're doing time 0. So I'm going to select all of that there. And then once it's highlighted like this, all of the data that I want to average, I just hit the enter button, and there we go. That's the average. So I'm going to go ahead and just repeat that process for 10 minutes here. So click on, first it's the box I want the average to go in is highlighted. Now I'm going to click on the function button, select average. Now it's asking me, well, what numbers do you want to average? So I'm going to scroll over here, and I want to do the 10-minute data for malachite green. Enter. Okay. So obviously that gets a little bit tedious, and it's going to take you a while to fill in these boxes, but Excel actually helps you make it go a little quicker by filling in the boxes below using essentially the same process but the next line down. So to speed up this process, we can do the rest of the averages by using this little trick in Excel where we go to the bottom corner of the box that we calculated the average in before, and you should see that plus symbol. Once the plus symbol appears, you can click and hold and then drag down. And what it did right there is it actually calculated the averages for the next two lines. It just repeats the same process, just moving down a line each time. Okay, so these are the averages over time for malachite green. You can see it started out at about 14.4 millimeters width, and then it moved up to 20, almost 21.7, right? So that dye circle got bigger over time, which if you observed this experiment, you know that that's exactly what happened as diffusion was occurring.